live. Welcome. It's still the same day. You've gotten back from the Biblioplex probably an hour to 3 hours ago. Enough time to really catch your breath and sit with the people who not only care about you most, but who most support you as well. Um, None of you have currently gotten any updates from anyone off of this little spit of land in the bog, except for my people with phones. But as far as official updates from Tyvar administration, you have not been graced with an update just yet. And with this, I would actually love to ask who would like to go first.
Looks up alone.
Looks at Motiva.
This happens every time. Bitches hate to go
I
first.
want Bolin!
And I want Motiva!
You don't care!
What?
I want to see what's happening to my wife. Fuck yourself.
Damn!
I'm not leaving this spot.
Motiva is currently sat down on the ground, unable to be picked up, absolutely ragdolling every time somebody picks her up.
She's dead waiting right now.
Literally. Okay, Sarah, do you consent to going first?
Yeah.
Slay. So, you currently, just finished up having a very intimate conversation with Mr. William. And you're currently standing sort of near the doorway of the cabin, on the same direction that you know that Nim and Eleni are. As Will kind of leaves to do the favor that you asked them. And by
Sorry, go ahead.
that was a really funny meme. Anyway,
Sorry.
he leaves to do what you ask. And you kind of have these moments alone to do sort of the rest of the sort of list almost. Like you're meticulously going and sort of checking up on the people here. And it's kind of partially your healer's training and partially the position you have as matriarch of your den, but it's in this moment of like calm and relief, you want to check on the people around you. And after you turn away and Will leaves, you see the inside of this cabin, still the same as it ever did look. You still see that Nefe is near the fire pit, still working on sort of weaving this shimmering thing. You haven't really ever. It's the same thing that she was working on in Ixalan, but you've never really been able to piece what it is. And Onyx, by the time you go to look at her, almost goes to look away, like she might have been glancing in your and Will's direction. But you notice that Rowan actually must have slipped out at some point in that time that you were pressed up next to him. So what are you doing?
Rowan, where did you go?
I don't know. I think you will recall there was a line I said, and it was like, it feels like you're the only two people in the room. And I think that tracks. You had a little bit of a moment there.
Well, she's gonna go looking for Rowan.
Okay, which door do you go out of?
Let me look at the map again. Many directions, that boy.
Yeah, you can also give like a north, south, east, west. The one that The side that Nim and Eleni is on, I know this is going to be hell to keep track of. They were currently hanging out on the west bank of the little island. And the bridge, like the little like bridge getting you off the island, I believe is to the south. Yeah. And there's a door on each. There should be a door on each end. That's how they normally are. Where's he at?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I second guessed myself. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I guess we'll go check this out.
Slay. 1 second. Oh, that's right. I always forget about the little river I put there. The little stream. Okay. Let's make this a roll. I'm gonna roll for you really quick.
Oh my god.
What's your perception again, my darling?
Plus 13.
Plus 13. Okay, slay.
I got them specialized.
You do have those special eyes, which means that you actually get to see. Rowan isn't out here. Rowan isn't sort of near the entryway to Nim's little section of the bog, right? But I think it's natural to say that, like, well, if you look out one door and Rowan's not there, you're going to keep looking around. You know what I mean? It's natural. Which is what the perception is for. And you do end up sort of running into Rowan. But because of the nature of where she is, I actually have to pop over to Motiva.
That's scary. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Motiva. You are currently also in the middle of, I would call, an intimate moment with one of your lovers. As you are currently, I don't even want to say tangled up. You're just kind of like generally on the floor being affectionate, right? Talking about this and that and sort of trying to, neither of you can talk.
I need to save this gift. You don't even know what I'm doing. You don't even know what I'm doing. I don't want
You didn't know what I was doing either.
It's true.
Yeah, you could have told me now, couldn't ya?
You could have told me.
It's sake, we must inform each other later. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fun. We like to have fun around here. But you kind of have this moment, and you're sort of still in the middle of talking to Adonkai. But you actually hear a knock on the door of your cabin. Your cozy cabin.
She just smiles and she looks to Kai and she says, "We will talk about this later. This is a genuine offer."
I know. And he's gonna go to almost like pinch at your cheek.
Which one?
The one on your face.
She's getting up. She's getting up. She's getting up. And she'll answer the door.
Slay. I think Adonkai just chills on the ground. I think he's just sitting.
Fair.
You go to answer the door, and then I have to also look at the map of this one. Okay, Slay, there we go. You go and you sort of like pass the old worn piano to these sort of double doors. Adonkai still kind of like sitting on the ground, and you open the door. Or do you like look out of a peephole or anything? How do you think Motiva answers a door?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm sure if she's a modern gal. I'm sure there's a peephole on this door.
Either that or you look out a window. Like either way, like that's so suburban.
Yeah, she's just gonna just be like, eh?
It's Rowan.
Yeah. She immediately opens. She says, "Oh, thank God you're not a cop. Hi."
Hi.
What's up? She says it much more casually than I do.
No, that's so fair. Sorry, every time Motiva says something incredibly like millennial Earth, I do take psychic damage and I have to recover every time. I love it a lot.
She just says, "What's up, Rowan?"
I think that she does laugh at that though. I think, especially since you're being like more casual with it, because she kind of just goes to put a hand on her hip and look at you, kind of scrutinizing you a bit of like a quirk to her brow, and says, "Well, I mean, I was coming to just check on how you were doing, but I'm glad to know this is just an average school day for you. I guess I was worried for nothing."
I'm trying really hard to not think about it. Look at my cool house. I can't leave.
Y'all have to tell me what it looks like on the outside. I'm trying really hard not to think about it too much. I have emotionally tried to move past it. The most we can do now is just talk. And if you and William need a ride back to Eldraine, I will give it.
Well, if you're looking for ignoring your problems and not worrying about it, that's my way to handle an issue. Wow, cool house.
Thank you. No, come inside. I worked so hard. There's a toilet.
Flynn, this is whenever you see that Rowan is now going inside of the house, and you can also do whatever you want if you want to come in this house.
Please come
Oh my
inside of my
God.
triangle cabin with cat paws.
Cat
With
paws.
cat paws.
It's got toes. It's got feet.
It's probably got a tail too.
Yeah, it's just blump, blump, blump.
Ellen will see Rowan at the door to the cozy cabin and will perk up and immediately step.
I do. Okay, so I know I know we say that all the time, but the concept of you not even saying anything and then just also walking in the house and being like, "Hello, I am here," is really funny.
I think Motiva just sees Flynn's like quickly moving because Flynn isn't like slow. She has a higher like speed than normal.
She's small and she's fast.
Yeah, she like sees Flynn just rapidly approaching. She's like, Jesus fucking Christ, slow down.
I can't help it. I'm aerodynamic.
Your aerotype. Yeah, you're not a. Just get in the house.
She's
Flynn.
been at Quandrix for too long. We have to get a whole new Flynn.
Just get in the house, Flynn.
Thank you. She's immediately ogling the house.
It's beautiful. You've seen the picture.
Yeah.
There's a piano.
Piano.
There's a spot for floor time. I will say, because I'm fun, that the table is full of actual food.
Wow.
Yes, that was a very nice thing that God gave us.
Yeah, I'm basically treating this as like an explorer's yurt because it's just more useful. That's an item for past or future us. It's very good for survival. It gives you food.
Yeah, Motiva is just gonna smile and she's gonna look at Rowan. She's gonna look at Flynn. She's gonna look at Kai.
Kai's sitting
And she's
on the
gonna
ground.
smile. Yeah, she's gonna smile and she's gonna look at them all and she's just be like, "Oh, Rowan, have you met Kai? Oh, have you met my friend Flynn?"
It's so funny that I was gonna ask how you were doing, but I should have asked who you were doing.
Oh, hey now. These walls aren't made for fucking. Thank you.
I was intending to give you alone time to do just that, but
No, I don't. I know I'm really good at avoiding things, but like I'm not that good at it.
I don't think that this is the mood for that. If she just goes to sit at the piano chair, and if Taiva pulled up, and that happened,
I think Kai actually leans over to almost stage whisper at you, Motiva, and be like, I didn't think your friends would be this concerned about our premarital duties.
Rowan's just a pure maiden, who just can't imagine people fucking.
Yes.
A
I've
holy
never
maiden.
seen a single body part ever.
Nope,
Not the-
never seen a titty. I'm so sorry.
I don't even know what that is.
She just clamps the bench. I think it's safe to say Motiva's manic, because she's just like losing her mind. And she's just like,
Yeah,
we're
fair.
so fucked. We're so
Motiva
fucked,
is
but we
the
gotta
equivalent
keep
of a shaking
going."
chihuahua right now.
Yeah. I think this is
Uh,
the most anxious anybody's ever seen her.
Yeah. Fullen is going to walk over to Motiva, and she is going to start petting her hair.
The hair starts to trap Fullen's hand, and she just smiles, and she just looks at everybody, and she says, "Oh, we have some motvika on the table. Some strawberry cheesecake. I can't leave the house, but I think the food can. If anybody gets hungry, they can ask for some. There's some beds upstairs. The loft is mine, but
Rowan actually kind of like quirks a brow and say, are you just gonna be on imaginary house duty? Do you just have to babysit the house to keep it up?
I'm gonna be honest. She like looks at everybody and she says, "I don't think Nim will take well to everybody constantly hogging their cabin. The
Yes,
cabin."
we will.
Go ahead.
We will likely be seeing them here soon. I sent Will to go let them know that the cabin was up.
Yeah, no. Well, it doesn't have to be her Nim to come here, because having their own room would be nice. I'm sure they'd like to be near their supplies, but there's plenty of room for everybody. I still have my sleeping bag, and there's plenty of room.
It is.
Thank you.
Thank
It
you.
was very hard.
She's going to give Motiva a hug.
the hair hugs back, and so does Motiva. She just grabs Fullen's arm.
And
And
in hair.
Yep.
she just looks at everybody and just says, It's not that I'm on like pretend house duty. I said this to Kai. I'm mostly just arguing to myself in here, and I didn't want anybody else to hear it."
In light of acting against that interest,
Hmm?
how exactly are you doing?
I think I would have rather that the I'm okay. I just need time. I didn't expect to get so many people in trouble.
You say that as though it is specifically your fault.
I am definitely the one that came up with the plan.
You're not the one who triggered Hoshmal, though.
I don't know what you're saying.
We all agree to this wholeheartedly. I don't think any of us knew exactly how that would happen. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know and don't want to know if Onyx knew that that would happen.
If Taiva said that it was an unpredictable thing, I don't think she knew either.
It was just a, how do you say it in common?
Shit.
Unpredicted variable.
Ah,
Also
yeah,
that.
that is a common tongue for it. Otherwise, I'm okay. I'm calm. More calm than I was before. I'm not crying. I think that's a pretty good. I haven't cried. That is genuine. I think that's a pretty good start.
It's okay
I'm.
for you to cry.
I don't want to. If Tyva comes up and I have tears in my eyes, I've already lost the argument.
If Tyva comes up and you have tears in your eyes, I will distract him until they are gone. Crying is good for the body. Why do you think I cry so much?
My body is made of sap, Flynn.
That
It's
doesn't
not a.
change anything.
It's not a normal body, but thank you. I appreciate what you mean and I understand what you say, but I am being honest, I am doing better than I was before. Are you doing okay? Are all of you doing okay? And she like motions to everybody.
Honestly, I'm doing remarkably well. I mean, I'm tired, but
Rowan, you ask that, and Rowan is actually mid sip of something from your table. And I think that she actually goes to put another hand on her hip and kind of bring the beverage over to you, Motiva, where you and Philin are. Do you think you take it?
Yeah, Motiva would take it. I imagine it's Kool-Aid.
Oh yeah. It's either Kool-Aid or it's a vague niche Finnish beverage. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like fucking rosemary in water or something. You know what I mean?
God bless.
Whenever you go to take the drink, I think that she kind of just shrugs and says, I mean, it was a net success.
That's what I'm saying.
I am used to people and you see that she kind of like goes to scratch a little bit at her scar on the shaved part of her head that started to get a little bit fuzzy. And she goes to kind of say, I'm used to people being upset when people take things into their own hands. And it could have gone better, sure, in 100 million years with 100 million people. A better plan could have been brought up, but if we didn't do it, nobody else was going to do anything about it. If we had sent a paper through Doriga to Tyva to the founders, it would have been stamped with no the minute it hit his desk.
And even if, in the off chance that it didn't, we would have had to deal with bureaucracy. And I don't think we had time for that.
Besides, what's the snarl even here for if it's not to be used to help people?
To be prevented from being used by evil people.
Yes, but it's also not a decoration. It doesn't exist to be guarded. It exists. I don't have to argue philosophy and semantics with the Silver Quill right now. You get what I'm trying to say. It's Strixhaven's job to guard it, but it is a thing that can be utilized for good.
I don't think there's a philosophy in saying that it exists, so it is inevitably going to be used. I don't disagree, though. And she just sips at the drink and she just says, you know, this isn't the worst.
Oh, definitely not. This could have gone so much worse. So many possibilities.
If Nefeh wasn't there, I don't know what was going to happen.
We won't have to know what would happen.
Nope. Now we just have to apologize to the whole school body for giving them a sudden stroke.
Oh, yes. Have you texted any of the others?
I have texted. She pulls out her phone and she says, Giselle knows what's up because Giselle always gets it. Chad gets it. I think you told him about it. He told me that you told him about it.
Yeah.
Grayson. He said that he's coming here.
Does Nim know?
I think the bigger problem is that we're under house arrest. If he comes, though, he might.
Not the best.
If he comes, though, he might bring things like food and news, which is something we desperately need because we only know 5 people with phones. One of them is. 2 of them are here. 4
3
of
of
them are
them.
here. 3.
A lot of your phones are actually on this island.
Yeah.
The psychic damage as Motiva just says we have very limited information about what's going on outside. It would be very good.
Correct.
Well,
Motiva is just a consistent Akira screaming. Sorry, go
Yeah.
ahead.
no, that's okay. Yeah, Motiva doing the Kira screaming is so real. Well, and you hear that's actually Kai speaking up. He's mostly still sitting on the ground, kind of just like watching you all. And his pose, like the way that he's sitting, is kind of like leaned back on his arms, like legs crossed, and his like body language is very casual, but he's watching both of you, I think, pretty intensely is just gonna have to be the word I use for it.
That's fair.
He just goes, well, if he is on our way, I know that one can be pretty sneaky, so, and I debated telling you all this or not, because I'm not sure if you could tell, but they haven't put up anything around us. I think really the only thing keeping here is the honor system. If we run off, it makes us look worse. You know?
I didn't even think to check.
I know.
Well, don't say it like that, but thank you very much, Tomcat. It's very sweet of you to tell us.
I didn't mean it any particular way, okay?
I know. I should have. Thank you.
There's a lot of people
I
here.
appreciate
You
it.
don't have to do everything. There's no I should have done all of this. There's 10 people here.
We're a whole group. She pokes Motiva's cheek. I want to mention.
No, go ahead.
I'm imagining that this entire time Phelan is literally just like cradling Motiva.
Yeah,
swaddled.
She's cradling you too. Motiva grabbing her girls with hair. It's a kindergarten rope.
Literally.
She kind of like rubs at her forehead and she says, "How's everybody else? How's Onyx? How is Eleni? How is Eleni?" And she like claps her hands and she like looks over to Phelan.
They're doing good. Nim said that they are currently treating It's as though they have a concussion. So for a while, they have to stay with limited stimulation. But otherwise, they're happy to be outside. They're excited to see the suns. They are a little bit out of it, but
Excellent.
that will get better with time.
Excellent. Okay. Awesome. Ultimate goal achieved. Eleni's feeling better. Everything else is just consequential. Consequential.
See? Told you. We did it.
Yippee.
You gotta admit, you have to feel a little bit cool about that.
I really do. I just don't want to feel ashamed later about feeling cool.
Fair
I guess.
Oh.
I'm
Flynn
curious.
is. Oh, what?
No, Motiva is just gonna be like, I'm curious what it looked like. I wish I got a recording, but I feel like that's so go ahead.
A fucking fan cam of Motiva fucking mid-air wielding the snarl like a lasso.
Literally.
Not even just Motiva, just like the whole gang, the whole girl
And
squad.
in my head, if I could draw, I would have drawn it because I see it in my mind's eye and it's agony.
Mm-hmm.
Brain, you see it in the brain. What was Flynn gonna say?
Flynn was going to squeeze Motiva and squeeze Rowan. And she's going to say a very emotional but happy thank you.
Aw, Motiva will give her a squeeze and give her a quick hug.
And she's gonna drag Flynn over by the hair to the table and just say, Eat. Eat.
Okay, okay.
By the hair with the hair. She's gonna sit Flynn down in front of a table.
Rowan is
and
already.
she's going...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Tell me about Rowan snarfing.
I actually was gonna say Rowan. So Rowan has been like already like drinking and like finger snacking from the table pretty consistently, right? But the minute you kind of like shove Flynn down into a chair, Rowan is specifically doing that aunt thing of like overpiling a plate of like 5 things to put in front of Flynn.
Flynn is gonna laugh a little and say, "This is very sweet of you, but I did mean for this to be a quick trip."
You're pregnant, you're eating.
No, I'll still eat, but I don't know how long I will stay here. I don't want to leave Eleni too long.
Well, but then make him come here. You can leave.
Flynn is gonna hold up a finger and she's gonna look outside the window. Are the 2 suns up yet?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Hold on, I'm gonna roll for how many minutes it's been since you left, Eleni. I'm gonna say it's been about 30 minutes, right? To include this conversation and also your conversation with Will. I'm gonna say that they're probably like the second sun is probably cresting, like it's probably like dawning, but it's probably not up in the sky yet. That's probably gonna wait for another like hour or 2.
Okay.
But it's
Flynn
about
will
to be
come
zenith.
back. About to be zenith. Flynn will come back and sit down. And I'll say, soon. I told them they could have the 2 suns, so we will wait until they are both there.
What?
They really liked the sun, and I told them that there will be another one soon, and they got very excited about it.
Oh,
So I told them they
okay.
could have it.
Okay.
Yes. Afterwards, we will get them into a proper bed.
Motiva's gonna ant plate some food too, and she's gonna give it to Kai. in his little floor time moment.
Kai will accept it, but I think Kai will come to the table also. Table time is also good.
I feel like after like a minute or two, Fullin looks like she realizes something and she stands up again and she says, "Okay, I do have to leave 1 second. I have to get Nefay. It's just her and Onyx in there right now."
Oh Jesus! Yeah, fuck. Please, 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 go, 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 get away, go, go,
She's
go.
going.
Just tell them there's food here or something. Make them leave.
Yeah.
Make them be in front of company, please.
She's gonna go back to the hut.
All right, so you leave the cozy cabin, you go back to the hut, you come on in. Vibes on the ground. You know what I mean? Neither of them have like really spoken to each other, and they're both still doing the same thing you left them doing, basically.
God.
God damn.
Fullin is going to walk in, and as she walks in, she's gonna announce to the two of them that there's food in the cozy cabin Motiva set up. And then she's gonna walk over to Nefay specifically and like put her hand on her shoulders and just say, "Would you like to visit Delaney?"
I think when you go to put, you said you put a hand on her shoulder, right? Or did you just go up to her?
Hand on shoulder.
Okay, Slay. Okay, I was scared that I imagined that up. I feel like the minute you touch, you see almost the like stitch that she's on, like hiccups, and then she like kind of stops. And I think she kind of like looks up from it at your question, and I think she actually like thinks about it for a second before looking at you, and she's just gonna say, "Yeah, I'll go see him." And you kind of
She's
see...
gonna start.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say you see her start to kind of like meticulously fold up the fabric that she was working with.
Flynn is just going to wordlessly start leading her away, not saying anything else to Onyx, just kind of hoping she's gonna go into the cabin.
That's super fair. I think if you want like a visual, there's not a lot of places to sit here, but I actually think that she's kind of like leaned up against a wall, and like by the time you kind of like go to exit the cabin, you see that she kind of like goes to close her eyes. Are you gonna go also see Eleni and Nim?
Yeah.
Slay, you run into Will at the door. Oh, hi. They were updating me a bit on the situation. They said that they'll be just a bit longer before they go over to the cabin. And then you see that he kind of like goes to make like a hand gesture that's just like,
Flynn will grab the hand that made the gesture, and will give him a smile and say, "Thank you."
Of course. And he's gonna go squeeze your hand.
She's gonna look back to Nefay and kind of nod outside like a "shall we?"
You see that she's like, by the time you go to like look back, you see that she's already like a little bit behind you, right? And you see as you say it, she goes to kind of like look at you, and then at Will, and then at you, and she's gonna nod and just kind of like walk past you. And you three go out back into the sunlight. And you see that it is the sunlight that comes down as it's like sort of like cresting into zenith is bright, obviously, but the sun is extremely clear and it's this sort of like pale blue since it's like basically about to be the Arcavian version of winter. The cold season is happening right now, starting to really kick up, right? Um, but even despite that, it's pleasantly warm with the sort of sunlight coming down, and you see that Nim and Eleni are both kind of like sitting in about in the same positions that you left them. And Eleni is kind of like sitting on the grass, legs sort of like put out, and just kind of like eyes closed. Like I want to say like sunbathing, like basking in the sun, basically, not doing much else. I would love to know what you want to do, because I know that Nefei is going to go up and talk to Eleni, but I want to know what you're doing before I go off into more monologuing and description.
I think Flynna is going to walk up with Will, within like earshot and everything. I do think she's going to give them some space, because she does not want to crowd Eleni when they're supposed to be not having a lot of stimulation.
Fair.
But she is watching.
Hell yeah. You see that kind of Nefei goes up. Whatever project she was working on is already securely kind of in her satchel. And she comes up to Eleni and kind of like squats down. She's already short, right? But it kind of like brings her as close to like eye level with Eleni sitting. And you actually hear Nefei go to kind of mutter something at Eleni, but you can't actually pick up what was said. But it's enough for like Eleni to like turn their face to face Nefei. And that's about all you get from this conversation. You know how Eleni is communicating. And you know that there's not really any way to glean how Eleni is communicating from just watching. But I feel like that almost makes it more fascinating, because this is one of the first times you have been like seeing it when you are not on the receiving end of it. And so it is just silence, and it is staring, and occasionally Eleni's expression will shift or twitch. But most notably, I think what you pick up is that like Nefei looking at Eleni in this interaction is very pensive and thoughtful. And other than that, you are not seeing a lot of other emotion on Eleni's face right now, which I think is of note.
Flynn locks this away into her little mental catalog.
Yes, and into her little brain bank. I do think that Will would probably try to make small talk with you. I am the worst at small talk, though. But even if it was just like oh, how is like everyone else, or like, oh, we should probably eat soon, you know, that sort of thing. Maybe even to comment on the weather and how it's like, it's actually pretty warm for this far into cold season today, and that sort of thing.
She will gladly engage in the small talk. She will let him know that she might be in trouble with Motiva, because she was only supposed to be gone for a little bit, and now that she's back with Eleni, she's gonna wait the hour until the sun come up.
That's so fair. That's Flynn core.
Yeah. But that when they do get to the cabin, she's going to eat so much fucking food.
I think that Will is. Sorry, go ahead.
I also think if it's clear he's just looking like small talk, she will pull out her phone and start talking about Stardew Valley.
Nice. Slay. He doesn't understand any of it, but he thinks it's very cute. Like quite legitimately, I think the appeal of game where you have a farm makes a little bit of sense to his medieval brain. I too dream of owning land, you know? T2 Autism Blues Go Brewer, you're so right. Awesome. I'm gonna pause really quick. Okay, and we're back. Motiva, now that you've been ghosted, what are you doing?
Glaring very intensely at a monster can she has.
Are you gonna drink the monster can?
Yeah.
Yeah, you deserve some
Did she-
monster.
And she clicks it open, and she's gonna bust out her phone, and she's gonna quickly send a text.
Slay, I would love a text. Oh, Motiva's nails are probably so slay for opening cans now. Too bad there isn't cans in the
Yeah.
Havios.
Yep.
Because they're
Motiva
slag
invent the
nails.
can.
Yeah, invent the can.
You can make a fortune.
Okay. She like sends this text, and then she's like sipping on essentially her beer, and she just looks to everybody and says, "You want a monster?"
Oh,
Since Bullen
What?
fucking ditched us,
oh
a Monster Energy drink. Which one says what?
what? I think Rowan is the one that says what. Kai is giving you a look that says what.
Motiva just like looks at them for a second. And she says, "Well, we're gonna test something first," and she like passes it across the table for them to sip test before she lets them ruin the carbonation on one.
Slay. Okay, hold on.
Sorry for giving
This-
your Victorian maids a Monster Energy drink.
It's okay. I have to figure out if they like it.
I genuinely do think Motiva would offer it because she's just kind of like, we don't have fuck all to do.
Yeah,
I can't leave.
literally.
Mhm.
I think Kai would actually kind of like it. I think that Kai. See, because in my mind, sorry, I'm going to explain this. Because I know we care too much about the minutiae of these characters. I think Kai would like it because it would kind of feel like a sweet kombucha, almost. Because that's carbonated. There's carbonation served at the cafe here in Strixhaven, right?
Yes.
I do think that Rowan would try it and be like, why is it spicy?
My woman, Rowan, I understand. Motiva nods and just passes Rowan a fruit juice and says, "You can have this instead. It's okay."
Icy fruit punch.
Oh, she checks her phone and she just crumbles the can of it and she just says, "Okay." And she makes a plate. That she would explain. She would say, "Sean's gonna sneak into the third floor. He's not gonna want to talk to anybody, but I can't leave to give him food."
I think Rowan makes a stank face at that, but I think Kai just kind of laughs and says, yeah, he's that type. I get it. And sorry, this is gay, but I think that while you're putting together the plate, I think that like Kai goes to kind of like rub at your lower back a bit before you go to take the plate up to your bedroom.
Yeah, Motiva's gonna look to Kai and says, "You have to play host now," and she sip, 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 sip.
So anyway, an igneous rock.
Yeah!
My kind of host.
Awesome. So you go to kind of squirrel away up to your attic bedroom, and it sort of has like this nice window. The bottom floors don't really have like windows, but the top one has a really nice one. And you kind of go up and you kind of see the dust motes kind of like settle in the sunlight as Zenith approaches. Um, and he's not really here just yet. So it depends on if you think you're going to leave it for him or wait for him.
She's gonna put down the plate and she's gonna take out like a piece of paper and write on it.
Mhm.
And she's gonna write like, tell me if you need me. I'll be around, but I'm going to give you space. But tell me if it's too much.
And she's gonna put it next to the food and she's gonna go.
Meow. Miva. I like her.
Thank you. And whenever she heads down, she just looks over and she says, anyway, so about that rock, did you know that it has shale in it? Which is totally probably inaccurate. She's just saying stuff.
You're gonna make your boyfriend actually you right now. You know that?
Good. It is what this fucking house needs.
I think that this is really funny also because, so for context, I actually think that like Kai said that like as a joke to be funny, like, oh, I'm about to bore the shit out of this medieval knight, Prismari. Anyways, Rox, haha, you come in, says a very confidently wrong thing about Rox, and he's like, well,
Well, that's not true,
It's not
actually, because
quite correct. A little bit off the mark, but you were so close.
Yeah, no, she takes it. She just smiles and goes along with it as she confidently just says incorrect rock facts.
I think that's really cute. I think that means that you, Kai, and Rowan have a fun time.
Motiva's basically just playing host. I literally can't leave.
You
Smiley
literally
face.
can't. You're just chilling. Encyclopedia of Lies. That's Motiva.
That is Motiva.
Her deceptions shows it too. Haha.
It's true. Lie to me, feet haver.
Lie to me detector.
Awesome. So I would say that's probably how you spend the hour. So I would love to come back to Flynn. 1 second. Sorry for yawning crimes.
What the fuck?
Oh god, the yawning! Not the yawning!
All right. Flynn, you kind of spend this hour, waiting for a sunrise, basically. Do you think that there's anything in particular you do while you're kind of waiting around?
Aside from talking to Will, I feel like she's kind of just gonna wait. And if Nefei like finishes talking with them, then she'll probably go sit by Eleni again and like hold their hand until the sun comes up.
Yeah. You definitely go to do that. I think that Eleni stays near. I think that Nefei stays near Eleni for the most part for the majority of this time. But I do think that kind of like eventually. No, the odds. Shit. I honestly feel like eventually Nefei would go back inside. And I feel like almost like goes to like knock her forearm against like your hip as she like passes you, like intentionally, you know. I don't know how to describe this motion, but people do it all the time. But it's like the fist bump equivalent of when you just like kind of like knock against somebody's shoulder. You know what I mean? Okay, Slay.
Yeah.
Kind of knocks against your hip, but I don't think that she goes to say anything before she leaves, if I'm honest.
I feel like before Nefay gets a chance to leave too far, she's gonna put a hand on her shoulder again.
Mm-hmm.
Can I hug you?
Another time, maybe.
She will just give her a squeeze on the shoulder. Squeeze on the shoulder.
A squeeze on the shoulder. She takes it. She kind of like goes to like glance up at you, and then I think she is gone.
She will go sit by a lady.
You go to sit by Elaney after that, and they are really quick to sort of take your hand again whenever you offer it. And there's something very calming. Usually, the bog has this sort of oppressive and omnipresent atmosphere, at the very least for you both as a party. You guys come here sometimes, but also some of the worst times of your school life have been here, right? It takes a bit of getting used to this place, but it's sitting in the sun and sort of waiting for the suns to come up with Elaney just feels calm. And there's this sort of ebb and flow to it where I think it is valid to wonder if it is wholly yours or not, this serenity. But I think that you both sit in the sun, and if anything, I actually think that, like, I think that how do I word this? Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that like you have noticed that like Elaney is very sluggish and very warm and kind of like sitting out in this sort of like this warm daytime. And I feel like as you're sort of waiting, I feel like it's also like I keep imagining almost like Elaney dozing off, like in the grass in the sun, right? But something that I think that you kind of like notice as Elaney is sort of like laying either next to you or with you, depending on the level of like the level that you want to interact with that specifically happening. Something that I think you pick up on is there is always this ambient glow to Elaney now, and it's visible even during the daytime. It's not super like glaring in the daytime, right? But as the day transitions from twilight, the majority of the day, to zenith, the 4 hours where both suns are up, that sort of glow gets brighter. And it sort of calls more attention to the cosmium in their chest. Do you think that you potentially wake up Elaney to relocate them, or how do you think that you kind of interact with this scene?
I do think Flynn will try and wake them up. in part because the whole point of staying out here was so that they could see the two suns before going in. I think she's like hand on their shoulder, not jostling them, but like tap tap tap.
I think that there is sort of no transitory period. I think 1 second they are asleep and 1 second they are awake, eyes open, and they go to almost sit straight up. Which is a little alarming. That's not usually how people wake up, you know what I mean? But hold on.
What are you rolling?
I've been rolling things this whole session, baby. I think that you jostle Eleni and they go to sit up and kind of look at you. And I think that they kind of like push against you this idea of like confusion or like curious.
Flynn is just smiling at them and is going to point up to the sky.
You see that Eleni goes to look up, and I don't describe the suns very often, and there's not a lot of art of them, unfortunately, but one of them is like really big and one of them is like really small and like bright red. So it's very like striking sometimes for people who come from a world with one sun, which is both of you, to kind of like see it, right? Because like the brightness is intense, and it's only really stopped being intense for you, Flynn, this past like couple months, right? But no, I think they would do that. I think they go to kind of like stare at them a little bit.
I feel like Philin like tries to angle their heads so they're not staring directly at them.
Yeah, I think that that's fair. I know how that sounds, but I think that they would right now, right? And you go to angle their head down, and they kind of don't fight you on it. And I think before they really go to say anything to you, there's this moment where they kind of like bask in the sun, but then almost instantly their shoulders sit up straighter, their eyes open, and their head turns to the bog, almost like meerkat-esque in movement. They're just staring out there.
I was gonna like turn and look where they're looking to see if she can spot anything.
Yeah, I'll roll a perception for you. The bog is a place where there's a lot of creatures, and there's a lot of bugs, and the wind and the water. There's a lot of movement, right? So there's a lot of things to see when you're out in the bog, when you're actually looking for it, right? The only thing you can really see in the direction that Eleni is looking is your average bog creatures, the sway of cattails, the ripple of water of maybe like a fish or a reptile, right? The swaying of trees and the sort of like, this is so niche, but like I imagine like Spanish moss hanging from the trees. And like swaying in the wind, that sort of thing. But you do notice that they are looking towards the south. And as they're kind of like staring dead in that direction, you feel a breeze that feels surprisingly chilly, I think, for how warm this day has been. And for the first time all day, you see a cloud glide across this sort of like opening that you guys are, like an opening in the trees you're in.
does this seem like a magic thing, or does this seem like weather is weathering?
Roll me. No, I do that. That's what we're called knowledge. What's your arcana?
And my arcana plus 13 with a +2 bonus if it's mental magic.
Oh, very slay. If you want, you can tell me to use nature instead. It will give you different information.
My nature is bad.
That's so fair. That's so fair. Okay, so it's a +13 with a +2 if it's mental. Okay, slat. I feel like it takes you a while of kind of like sifting through your calculations, this like idea. Because like it could be, you know, magic being cast from somewhere else. It's the most like realistic idea. The idea of like somebody's affecting the weather or a creature is affecting the weather, that sort of thing. And that seems very, very believable because Strixhaven does not have quick weather changes in your experience, right? It's you guys have had weather. You guys have had rain and snow. You haven't really had storms since you've been here, but you've only been here for about a year, right? But like it's not usually on a dime weather changes, right? So the idea that it's a spell is very real. But you also know that nobody here did any like anything somatic. Nobody said like an incantation. So if it's a spell, your best guess is that it was cast by someone not here. And sort of by the time you kind of like have that thought, you see that there's sort of like a couple clouds now, not fully obscuring the sun, but just kind of like floating, and they look a bit heavy.
Fallen is going to look at Will and say, can you help me move them? I think it's time to go inside.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I can definitely. And you see that Will. So something really funny about Will and Eleni interacting is that they have never interacted before this moment. So picking up an unconscious Eleni is a less awkward situation than trying to kneel down to inquire about picking up an awake Eleni, because like you see that like Will goes to kind of like kneel down on like one knee, which is like the strongest position to like get down and up when lifting something, but then like doesn't really touch them yet, and like kind of like stumbles through asking. Yeah, thank you. I'm gonna roll something really quick just to see how that kind of plays out. I think almost in a delivery that's a little bit funny is that, again, Eleni doesn't say anything, but just goes to stand up.
I feel like Philid immediately starts like worried Mother Goose, like running over. But no, you, Eleni, you need to rest.
I love talking as Eleni right now because it's so weird. I love weird communication styles. I feel like the feeling that you get from them whenever they go to like look at you is like, I can only describe it as like petulant. Like the way that it feels it almost makes you want to stomp your foot on the ground. You know what I mean?
I feel like Philid has to like shake her head and say, I know, but we have to be careful. Perhaps tomorrow we can try going for a walk.
I think Will is gonna kind of like look to you for permission to pick up Eleni.
I feel like she's gonna kind of give him a look like, oh, sorry. And she's gonna look back to Lady, because she does want a lady to, like, give permission.
100%, 100%. That's fair. This is a situation ship happening. You know what I mean? This is a whole thing. Roll me a diplomacy, I think.
Oh.
Fun
Any
fact.
bonuses because they like me?
Actually, I was literally about to say, fun fact, whenever you're doing social roles against people that you're dating, you do actually get lower DCs for that.
Gay.
Just a
22!
word, gay. 22?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what's gonna happen. Okay. You see that Eleni looks at you, and you see that their kind of like expression twitches into almost like a pout, which is again not really an expression you've seen on Eleni before. Eleni was very placid, right? But you see that there is like this feeling that kind of like curls around the back of your skull almost. And it's both the feeling of and word of like fine, right? Like an acquiescence. But what's funny about that also is this means that Eleni turns to Will, and instead of like saying anything to him, like puts both arms around his neck and like go ahead, like goes to like do that little hop basically that makes like him have to like bridal carry them, right? And this makes Will stumble like a little bit, but I think that like Will in general catches himself pretty easily and looks relieved, if a little bit perturbed after that. But you can chalk that up to maybe Eleni's talking to him. You know what I mean? If somebody's touching Eleni or near Eleni and looks like vaguely perturbed, I like could just be there talking. It's a little weird. But yeah, Will go to kind of carry Eleni. Probably not even taking the shortcut through the cabin. Would probably go would go past the hut to go straight to the cabin. Is what I'm trying to say. And you actually notice another thing. You notice this whenever Eleni stood up, but I forgot to mention it. I remember in RP, I think I told you that like Eleni's hair was about to like their lower back.
Yes.
It was a bit longer this time, actually. It was about to mid-thigh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
A Lady Rapunzel arc?
Who knows?
Rapunzel, Rapunzel?
Rapunzel, Rapunzel? Wild.
Yes. I assume we are all going to the cabin.
Yes.
Slay.
I like to imagine that Philin, like, goes ahead of Will and Eleni a little bit to open the door and, like, peek her head in.
Motiva, give me a very wrong rock fact.
Actually, Kai, I know you said that shale is sedimentary, but I think that mercury is in. I think mercury is in, like, Merturdrobade. And she just smiles.
I am so glad you didn't go into life sciences.
What? I'm just a girl. Her like hands in her cheek and she's just smiling and she just looks over and she sees her friends. She's like, oh my god, hi guys.
Hello. There's weird clouds outside.
Ah. Motiva's hair just goes flat. Why?
I don't know. They are more likely than not magical, but cast by somebody who isn't here.
Motiva is
This-
going to use detect magic.
Slay, that's what, 30 feet?
Yeah, you send out a pulse that registers the presence of magic.
Yes. Yeah.
What is the school?
Oh, that's a good
What is, because I
question.
learned the school of magic for the highest level effect within the range that the spell detects.
School of Magic. I gotta look at them because I don't know them off the top of my head because I was never a wizard. I avoided the wizard phase.
I think Flynn would probably mention that she thinks this might be their way of keeping them in here.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna raise you an offer that I think is very fun. Okay.
Mm.
Do you want. So I can give you the School of Magic if you want. Or, if you would rather, I can give you, like, the magic tradition it's from. Because it's not an outright spell. I'm having to, like, I'm having to put something onto it. So I can give you one or the other.
I'll ask for the tradition.
Divine.
Ah,
Ooh.
fuck. She kind of just puts her hands together and she says, okay, everyone, we have food right here. And she just casually tries to brush aside her worries.
Yeah, that's super fair. I do think that everybody kind of comes and, like, folds in to the cabin. I think that Onyx stays in the other cabin, but I think that Nim comes to visit you guys. It's really funny because I think that Nim originally was going to come visit Motiva and Kai, like, separately for a second and then go back to the main house. But then, like, everybody is now here, so Nim is now going to visit you for a little bit and then go back to their hut, which I think is fun. Eleni is dripping water on your hardwood floors.
Yeah.
She's trying very hard not to think about it. She's very brave.
You're very brave, and Will sets Eleni down into a chair, I think, probably near the fire. Now, since you... Why did my voice crack like that? Now that you guys can also see Eleni more up close, Motiva, you also notice that sort of, like, beacon of light that Eleni has is a little bit brighter, a little bit warmer in color, still very cool tone, but a little bit warmer than it was, and their hair is a bit longer.
She's gonna say that, and she's just gonna side-eye Flynn and just say, so, how's things?
About the same. We're still observing.
Mm-hmm.
Things will pop up as we wait.
okay.
Yeah.
She's gonna grab a towel
Mhm.
from the bathroom, and she's
Okay.
gonna pass it to Eleni and just say it'll be more comfortable to sit on.
I think Eleni takes it, looks at it a bit, and then I don't think you've felt this yet. So I
Nope.
get to describe to you something that Motiva might hate. Eleni takes it and kind of like looks at it and like unfolds it and like inspects it a little bit. And you feel, and I say feel because it's a feeling, this emotion that you know isn't yours pressing against yours as it kind of like I imagine it almost like a drop of ink melting into like a cup of water, right? Of like gratitude, but also like a vague confusion.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is a bit dramatic. Motiva feels that in her brain. And
Yeah. You feel it in your chest too.
Yeah, Motiva just feels that, and she says, it'll just be better for the floor. And she's gonna smile and she's gonna say, I'm gonna see if Ashan needs me to take his plate. And she's going to very stealthily go to try and leave. And then when she gets to the second floor, she just breathes.
Yeah, it feels weird. That's fair. It's like Sorry, go ahead.
She's got chills up her bone and she like shakes to the side because of it. You know, like whenever you get the chills and you like lose control of your body.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It felt like somebody injected you with a concentrated second of an emotion that just wasn't yours. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. You're right. She would have hated that.
Yeah. It's not. I know full well like that. It's not something that everybody would like. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she like doesn't want to get mad at Eleni because Eleni literally can't control it, but also discomforted.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is it gay to say that Motiva goes to see how Ashan is?
I would love that. You definitely can. Actually, I think that by the time you go up there, you end up coming up to the top floor, and you see that he's actually like half crisscross applesauced on the bed, kind of like scrolling through something on his little sending stone phone and like snacking finger food style off of some of the food you brought. And I think that it's a really sweet image personally because the room at the top of the house is really cozy also, but also that sort of like big window behind it. And you can actually see in the middle of this moment as raindrops go to hit the window. And it sounds nice.
She's gonna step forward and she's gonna knock on the side of the door.
I'm surprised it took you so long.
I'm busy playing host.
I can tell. It's why I'm surprised you didn't find a corner to scurry off into yet. There's a lot of people.
There is. Nim was here for all of 2 seconds before they rushed back to the cabin. I don't blame them. There's too many people. I don't blame you. There's too many people.
I'm just trying to avoid the how are you doing? What are you feeling?
Stop.
It doesn't matter what I have to say about it. What's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Are you okay?
Oh my god, what did I just say?
Well, okay, listen. I said this to Kai already, but if they do end up just kicking us out, if you'd like, I could try to help you find your people on Zendikar. Because if Strixhaven isn't an option, I don't want you to go back.
You know, I guess that's the good thing about all of this. I guess problems feel a lot less big when you can just leave.
My big plan, if everybody ends up getting kicked out, is helping everybody get home.
And what, they never see each other again?
I don't know. Getting home doesn't necessarily mean leave Arcavios. It just means find a place to live, to be happy.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. The principle of it sucks, but like we'll be fine.
I promise I am not giving up for anything. The day I just resign myself to listening to a man is the day I go.
I know. He'll talk us out of it somehow. They're probably gonna show their ass about it though. I feel like we haven't really left a good impression on an administration, I don't think.
I don't. When did you care?
I don't. I'm just saying, when you have a record, people listen to you less.
That's fine. I'll just make them listen.
You're good at that, huh?
It's half my job.
What's the other half?
You know, if we weren't surrounded by people and in a life-threatening
Situation, I could make a joke about fucking you against a wall, but
I was also
for
about
now,
to make a joke about your jaw being in your mouth, but I thought the time wasn't right.
Oh, hey, we both just have the same mind. Let's go. I know. Okay, she's gonna go towards the bed and she's gonna put a hand on his chest. She's gonna say, I know you're going to hate it, but Ashan,
What?
how are you? Are you okay? You've been on that roof a long time, and I know that there's a lot of people. But I want to make sure there's not something I can help with.
I just didn't think I'd care, you know? Because you're right, we can just go somewhere else and I don't have to step foot in Heavenfell ever again, and I can go to Zendikar, or we can go to Ravnica, or we can buy an island off of Dorodur. I don't fucking know. Like, there's so many ways that this isn't like the end, but it feels like it still. I guess all those people I made fun of last year were right. I guess it just started to mean something being here. So it sucks. And I thought I wouldn't care about it, and I kinda do.
I think a lot of people feel the same way. So I promise the last thing I'm gonna let happen is for Taiva to kick us out. Okay?
If there's anyone who can
I-
talk our way out of this, it's you. And he's gonna put his hand over your hand on his chest.
Oh, fuck. Fuck.
Gay people.
Gay people. Oh. Motiva is gonna nod and say, I can't start crying. It will be embarrassing. I did say I was just coming to get your plate. I cannot be crying.
Well, don't cry. Have a deviled egg.
Oh, you're right. It's my mom's recipe, and she's gonna take one.
He's also going to eat a deviled egg. I'm really glad that I'm really glad that Motiva would have deviled eggs in here, because I'm like, what's a comfort food that we really like? Devil egg.
Devil egg. Don't kill yourself. Go to Chili's. Is
Yeah.
essentially the mood.
Literally, don't cry, King. You have deviled eggs.
And ham. Motiva's just gonna eat some of it, and she's gonna say, just as a heads up, Eleni is telepathic now.
What?
I don't know. I hated it so much.
Magic sucks.
If magic wasn't real, we wouldn't have met each other.
I'm not saying it shouldn't be real. I'm just saying that sometimes it sucks.
If you think it sucks so bad, you can come with me to a Halloween party. When I go to a no magic land in the coming months.
I would automatically be cooler than anyone in the room at that party, and you know it.
I mean, yeah, but you still can go.
That is the appeal.
Not gonna be cooler than me, but you know.
Questionable.
She's gonna put a hand on him, and she's gonna look at him.
Hand is still on him.
Hand, another hand. There's two hands.
Oh my god.
And she's gonna say, do you want to come down with me, or do you want to stay here? I am sure you can hear it. There is a lot of people down here.
There is. He's gonna kind of like look to the window forlornly, but by now it's like fully raining.
Yeah.
That
definitely doesn't help before
yeah.
learning.
Yeah. And he's gonna sigh and say, I'll come down for a bit.
Okay. You don't have to stay there forever, just long enough so that people know you aren't still out on the roof in the rain or alone with Nim.
I think that they would kill me.
Onyx and Nefay were left alone earlier, and it was really scary.
Yeah, I think that's like the general mood. The second Sarah like shot up, it was just like Nefay and Onyx are alone together.
Right now, Onyx and Nim are alone together.
That's fine. It's too fucking weird. Necromancy is fine, motherfuckers. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
Unless fucking Liliana admits to her war crimes in front of Nim.
Who knows?
No. Please, God.
Who knows?
You
You don't know what's happening outside of the rooms you're in.
Drags my nails across the door, but he was gonna take Ashon's hand and his plate, and they're gonna go down to the party. Yay!
Prettiest girl at the party.
Prettiest girl at the party. Oh Jesus!
Everybody chilling. Eleni waterlogged and sitting on a wet towel.
I feel like while Motiva was away, Felin had like asked a lady what food they wanted and went to like settle down with them and Will in front of the fireplace, but then over time has started unintentionally engaging in nesting behavior.
Yeah, I believe that. I love
She's
Felin
grabbing
pregnant
pillows
era.
and blankets.
It's all from the
For me,
floor
right
time
next to
area too.
her. The floor time area. Please
Yeah,
don't get my
she's-
pillows wet.
She's moving the floor time area.
They are actively getting wet. You come down in the middle of Felin getting them wet and nesting around Eleni at the fireplace.
She tried to put the towel down.
The waterlogged towel.
Yeah.
There's that.
It's not doing anything, but she tried.
I also think
Yeah.
it's in character because Felin has had to stop caring about like bedding and stuff getting wet when dating Eleni in general. This is just what it's like to be around
Absolutely.
Eleni.
Yeah. Motiva just comes down. It's just like, hey guys. She sees Eleni all over her stuff, and she's like, hey guys. Hi. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Macho.
Felin, mouthful of food. Cozy.
Cozy cabin.
Cozy
said the thing.
cabin. They said the thing. Motiva's going to go over to Kai, and she's gonna mumble something in his ear, and she's gonna be like, hey, is it okay if I invite other people to the Halloween party so that everybody doesn't have a fucking vibe attack? Give some people something good to look forward to.
It's your party. You can invite whoever you want to.
Well, I didn't know if you saw it as like a date or something.
Is it a date?
It could be.
Later. And she's gonna like hold out a can. She's gonna be like, everybody, in light of the success of recovering Eleni, I would like to invite you all in the coming months to come to a party in my home plane. There would be no need for disguises, as it is a time of the year where everybody is in costumes, so nobody would be any the wiser.
Oh.
I would like to invite you all to come with me to Halloween.
I forget, does Felin know about Halloween yet?
No, probably not. She didn't go last year because she was knocked out.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, what is Halloween?
It's when we dress up and we go knock on doors and we trick kids into fighting ghosts because adults are too scared.
Oh,
Shut the fuck up.
I'm very funny.
I'm blanking on the holiday name.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. I have it. I'm sorry. 1 second. I actually think it's Bear and Eve. I think we just missed it. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, because I know that we missed that holiday. I could not for the life of me remember the fucking name.
I'm trying to look at it. Hold on. Please. Blaze. No, it's not Bear and Eve. Is it?
Alright, that's the, like, winter one, isn't it?
Bear and Eve is like the All Souls Day, but the sad version.
Yes.
What's the oh god, I can't find it. I found every other one of your holidays except for that one.
Shit.
Is it Umbra's Night?
I think so.
We're gonna say it is, and then
Umbral?
post game we can correct ourselves.
Umbral Night. Something.
Something.
After this, I'm gonna make a doc specifically for the fucking Exandria holidays.
Please, thank you. I'm silly.
How did Motiva describe Halloween again?
Motiva would describe Halloween as a very old holiday where the veil of the spirit world and the human world
Is very thin, so a lot of kids are tricked into dressing up as ghosts so that the ghosts don't feel sad. And then the adults can stay inside because they're scared of ghosts, but kids aren't scared of ghosts, and then kids get paid in candy for doing a great job.
That would make Philin laugh, and then she kind of think on it a bit. She'd say, we have something kind of similar. Nobody gets paid in candy, but we do dress up.
Yeah. You should. It's very effective. Cost effective, too.
Do you also dress as demons?
Oh, we dress as everything.
Ooh.
This is a warning and a heads up. You're gonna see a lot of stuff. If you see somebody dressed up as an elf, just they aren't being weird about it. They just don't know.
Noted. I would like to partake of this Halloween.
She does a deep bow and then looks to the rest of her guests, including Eleni.
I have to think about who would be down for Halloween.
Halloween!
It would suck if one of the twins was just like, that's stupid, and the other's just like, oh my god, that sounds awesome.
Every time I think about an event like this, I have to think about if that happens or not because it's really funny. Because it means somebody's gonna have to suck it up. I do think that Nefeh would think it's silly. I think that's in character, right? So I think Eleni... No, I think Nefeh... Sorry, there's so many bitches here. I think Nefeh says no. I think... You already have a Sean and Kai's yes. I think Eleni would say yes. I think that, and Eleni says yes by rubbing your brain with a skittering feeling of excitement. Like a spider crawling over your lobes.
I love it when I
yeah.
hear you start to scream and then Discord cuts it off.
It's always so
That's-
funny. It's like the
The thing is that Motiva's just totally fucking straight faced too, but inside she's just like, oh Jesus fucking Christ!
every time. It's literally like that every time.
Twinsies?
I'm I'm trying to think. I think that they also would be interested because I was going to have them speak up and say this, and I think they say this now. But Eldraine doesn't have any canon holidays. I don't fucking care. I think every culture has a dress up holiday, regardless of what it is. Like, it's really common to have like a regalia for a holiday, right? I think I'm gonna craft one for Eldraine because I feel like I already have an idea for it. I'm not gonna say it on recording now in case I change it though. But they have a similar holiday, so they would be down.
Hell yeah.
I think that they would be more hesitant about it being like on your home plane because of, no offense, how you are.
What?
You and your smartphones and your weird turn of phrases. You know? Have the twins even been to Ravnica? I don't think so.
No, they haven't
No.
been anywhere except Exandria so far.
Yeah. And Ixalan now.
Technology.
Technology.
Put them in a car right now.
We're gonna make them turn into the Squidward future gif.
Literally.
But yeah, Motiva's basically just being like a celebration here and then. We did it, boys. She's just trying to be like, we did it. Nothing bad could go worse than this because no matter what, we succeeded on our goal,
I definitely
and nobody's going to take that from us.
I definitely think that like people bite at the idea, even if people are like, oh, I don't really know, or they're like, no, that's fucking stupid, or like, oh yeah, we definitely should. It's not just like a yes or a no. Like, I think it is actually like actively kicking up conversation, and I think that that is something that is heartwarming, and kind of makes it feel less like the sky is falling, personally.
Silver Quill powers, go!
It's true. You're literally a silver quill. Okay. I think I'm actually going to take an official break, now. I'm gonna say maybe like 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, so I can finish some curry. We can do a little bio break, and then I will have another scene, and then we'll cut the session.
Yippee!
Yippee!
Welcome back. You guys are currently in the middle of your meal. Kind of, heart bolstered a bit by, specifically, bonding and talking, pretty casually, I guess, about the premise of Halloween and parties and events, and it's nice. I think it's probably the first time that most of you have kind of come together in this moment. And actually, like, we're seeing each other and talking to each other. And something that I think is very fun about it is that even Eleni is very engaged, despite being kind of sequestered away. Philin, you can kind of see that their movements are a bit more sure, their eyes are a bit brighter. They're sort of quicker to sort of have that sort of like connection of conversation with you. And it's little things still, but I think that it's a marked difference from how they were even just an hour or two ago. As the rain sort of pitter-patters on the cabin, I imagine that this probably goes on for like 30 minutes to another hour. So if there's anything else you guys want to do before anything like changes, I would love to hear about it.
Sarah, do you have anything? Because I don't.
I don't think so. I'm imagining Fulin very smug and cozy.
Oh yeah. Literally fireplace on, blankets and pillows in, snack grabbed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She's surrounded by all of her people.
Yes, and only slightly damp.
Yes. That's okay.
That's okay.
If anything, it's comforting.
Fair enough.
Yep.
Eleni has been gone for a month. Actually 6 weeks now. It was 6 weeks.
Mhm.
Yeah. And as you guys are kind of having these conversations, it's cut into pretty sharply, I think, as another moment happens. Falin, you notice this first. And it's because you're so close to Elaney that you notice. Where you and Elaney are kind of like, Elaney will say things to you and sometimes you'll respond, or you're kind of just like basking in this moment of being with everybody. And then there's another kind of moment of almost this feeling of honing in on something as Elaney swivels their head to look at the door of the cabin, probably seconds before a fist goes to slam on it, like knocking like repeatedly, like it's not stopping.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Like 6, 7, 8, 9, like it's rapid, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Mhm.
Motiva's gonna run to the door. She's gonna like put down her stuff and just go to the door.
Okay, awesome. Are you gonna try to peek out, or are you opening the door?
She'll just open it.
You go to open it, and there is this kind of moment where it would be comedic if it wasn't a little startling, as you see back to back. The first person to fall in is a soaked Grayson.
Oh Jesus.
As you open the door, you didn't realize how hard the rain had been getting, almost like creating a curtain of gray. But after Grayson kind of stumbles in, almost like muttering under his breath, like, what took you so long? And after that, you also see an umbrella come through, as you see Giselle trying to stomp off the mud of her boots. And then also followed by Nim trying to not get too wet, kind of soaking through their shirt and making their hair stick to themselves. And then rounding up the corner, putting a hand around your shoulders and Giselle's is Chad, also wet. And Chad just kind of goes to say, oh man, I don't think I've actually ever come out this far before.
Felina is immediately up and she's going to hug people.
Yeah, they'll hug you. They're damp. But that's fine.
Yeah.
It's the most notable thing
also
about
damp.
them. Yeah, everybody's a little damp right now.
My only thought whenever he said Chad put an arm around Motiva is just like the cat like straightening.
Yeah, literally trying to avoid the arm.
She'll like give a hug and she'll just be like, do you guys need like clothes or something?
You see that Chad goes to wave a hand and he's like, oh no, I'm fine, it's whatever. Giselle goes to kind of like, she's like trying desperately to like stick her umbrella half out to like shake it out. So it doesn't get water all over the floor. It's a futile attempt, but she's trying.
It's very sweet. It is appreciated.
But I actually do think, and saying it's nonverbal communication sounds like a cop-out, but you know both of these people so well that, like, you get a look from both Nim and Grayson where both of them don't technically say it, but I think they both would want new
Motiva just
clothes.
sucking in her lips really hard and she's like, Falin, can you help me get some clothes?
Yes, of course.
Two cats coming in from the rain.
My 15 cats. And 2 dogs.
But you guys managed to get things like towels and blankets and clothes. because they are like created, thankfully you don't ever have to worry about like if it gets wet and mildews. It's mostly just to keep it comfy while you're all in it. But people start kind of like toweling off. You see like Chad goes to he's gonna take his jacket and his shirt off because he's an annoying boy.
Motiva like holds a hand against the twins' eyes for thy gaze.
Rowan like, Motiva, I've seen someone shirtless.
I thought you've never seen boobs before.
I don't know what that is. You're right. I'm actually a nun.
You know what a nun is?
You know, I actually don't think they know what a nun is.
They learned about
I
the
was gonna-
concept of nuns and have just started making jokes about it.
I read about it in a book.
You know. I was just gonna say Motiva's just gonna be like, well, have we talked about Chad's boobs before though? They are quite different from normal boobs. They are quite spectacular. They're quite too much for the human gaze, I'm afraid.
I have to make Rowan make a joke. I think Rowan just kind of like snickers and says, I think they're perfect for the human gaze. If you recall, one of the funniest, I think, scenes from the club recruitment was Chad being painted and shirtless all the time.
Motiva's gonna go to Grace and just be like, you really didn't have to go out this far. Are you okay?
I did.
Did all of you sneak, or did they stop the lockdown?
Well, if you're in lockdown, they're not doing a very good job of guarding you.
It's an
Well, I mean,
honor
you're
system.
locked down.
Yeah, you're locked down. We're talking about you.
You said I should go get a healer, and that did not entail administration. And you see that Grayson is kind of a snippy about it, and then Chad goes to shrug, and he says, I just walked off.
Good to know.
And Giselle kind of goes to kind of mutter and shift a bit and say, I don't really like being cooped up, and I ran into him, and we had the idea to go get Chad.
That's so sweet.
You can
She's
join
gonna
us
look
for
in-
lunch,
I'm
dinner.
sorry, she's gonna look at him real quick. Why did you decide to ditch the cabin?
Well, they came to there first, and I was showing them their way here, but it's, I don't know if you saw, the entire ocean is falling out of the sky right now.
God, I love when Nim is snippy.
But if you really
They're
want me gone, I can
crazy.
leave.
Oh no, it's okay, it's okay. And she's gonna like extend a hand. She's gonna say, if you wanted some alone time though, I have other floors upstairs.
Tempting, but in a minute.
You do
I'll-
not have to burden yourself.
I'll make sure I am dry before I sit on any more of your linens. And I think actually
Thank
Nim is gonna
you.
squeeze your hand and maybe kiss your hand a little bit.
What was Lynn gonna say? I'm sorry, I just needed to figure out if like Nim had terrible news.
Flynn was just saying that they could join everyone in lunch/dinner because she lost track.
How did you get so much food?
You can thank Motiva for that.
She looks a little bit too proud of it. And she says, yes, you can thank Motiva for that.
Magic can be
I worked
exchanged
very
for
hard
goods
to
and
make-
services. Sorry, go ahead.
Motiva just looks really like snooty and her like head is up and she's like just looks proud and she says, "Yeah, Falin saw the first cozy cabin I made, and I would say that this is Falin and Giselle, you both saw whenever I did this the first time. I think I have improved markedly on my spellmanship."
Oh, is this yours? And Giselle goes to like start looking around because it's true. That was back when it was awful. Giselle's, it's so roomy. Oh, and the
There's
decorations.
a tub. Thank you. There's the piano works. The food is edible. There's beds upstairs.
Oh, this is so lovely. This is. Well, what else can I expect from the best mage I know? Giselle does a little hop step when she says that. And then I think after that actually is whenever Grayson is going to pipe up and say, no, actually, it's not time for dinner. We need to talk about your statement.
The particulars.
Yes, the particulars, because we've got to get you out of this situation that you're in. You have 3 silver quills in this room, and you think we're gonna let you get arrested? No.
That was not a part of my plan.
Well, I'm not gonna stand for it, so.
Can we at least finish first?
Roll diplomacy.
Motiva's gonna go and she's gonna extend a hand to Grayson and she's gonna say, "We were talking about a holiday party that I was inviting everyone to. If you'd like to join in on that conversation."
Oh, well, that sounds absolutely lovely if you manage not to get put in jail.
Grayson.
What was your roll?
19.
You can sit back down, and you can eat.
Are you going to kidnap me?
Yeah, upstairs.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that.
No, do it. Do it. Do it.
I was gonna make Motiva say Ayo.
Ayo, right now.
I don't think she would. I don't think she would. I don't think she would. But we know what I thought.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Motiva's gonna smile and she's gonna say, "Okay, I want Falin to come with me because she was somebody who was involved in this, and she has every right to be involved in this conversation."
I feel like as Motiva says that, Falin looks like very huffy and like stands upright, like huffy towards Grayson. It's like, yes.
I thought you wanted.
Unless
to
you want me
finish
alone.
eating.
I'll bring the food upstairs.
You don't have to worry about it. You should avoid being stressed out right now.
I have already done a terrible job of that.
You
I'm sorry
shouldn't.
to say.
Ooh, that's the pot calling the kettle black. You both need a Xanax, actually.
Oh, what?
Last I checked, I don't think she can take a Xanax right now.
Motiva just points while looking at Falin and says, "This is the most anxious man I've ever met in my life."
I know.
Sorry for dragging your dog, Panini.
No, it's funny. I'm sorry. I started staring into the middle distance because I was thinking about all of the pieces on my chessboard right now. The DM struggle.
She's gonna nod and she's gonna say, "Okay, I'm gonna bring some drinks with us and then we can go. Okay? But we will talk about it, Grayson.
Now finish
Your
your meal.
bones. Your bones are freezing. Please have something hot.
All right.
Thank you.
What? That's
Motiva's just gonna message pull in and just be like, "Can you believe this guy?"
Sadly, yes.
That's the thing, because he used to work with Grayson a lot, actually. He's always like this.
Lynn's gonna go back to her little nest and grab her fucking plate of food, and it's gonna give Eleni and Will a kiss on the cheek, and then it's gonna go trot back.
Grayson will get I feel like he'll get a drink, but then also like a turkey leg.
Carnivore.
Yeah.
I was about to
wanted
say he would want a
ham
turkey
shank.
leg.
Yeah.
He's not beating the allegations.
He's not beating the I am
No.
a dog allegations.
If I don't see him gnawing on the bone after the meat is gone,
Oh yeah, and eating the gristle. I do that. He's gonna.
yeah.
Motiva's just gonna get a can. Probably not Monster. Don't have Monsters back in the back. She's just gonna have like a thing of like lemonade or something, and she's gonna be like, okay. She's gonna look at the twins and say, "It's your time to host. Good luck." And she's gonna go upstairs.
I like Motiva passing the host baton.
Yeah, literally.
You can't give it to Nim.
No. If Nim was a host, Nim could then decide that everybody gets out.
Yeah. Everybody leave.
My cabin now. Okay. We are with the dog.
You are with
I imagine we're on like the second floor so that like everybody can have like a place to sit on like the beds.
Yeah, 100%. And also room to pace because Grayson is going to be pacing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So. What are we saying? And what are the charges being laid against you?
Well, using the snarl, tampering with
Without permission.
Ashmal. Yes,
Temporary.
without permission. All of this is without permission. Just blanket statement.
We turned off Washmal for a minute. It didn't work, but we did it.
That's what that was.
Yeah.
Specifically,
It hurt.
specifically Onyx turned off Ashmal. Should specify. We did not know that that would happen. I don't think she knew that that would happen either.
She was kind of bad at doing her job, actually.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
We're about
I
to give
yelled
this
at
man an
Tyva.
aneurysm.
What'd you say, Motiva?
I yelled at Tyva. That was fun.
Oh my god, okay.
That's really the big points.
It worked though.
Yes.
It did work. You're right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I feel like I detect sarcasm actually when she like
No.
looks to Flynn.
I meant that I'm
Oh.
just so. Oh, I could squeeze you right now. I'm sorry, every pause is like in character. I'm literally trying desperately to think about how he would combat this situation. And he's staring into the middle distance and pacing, and he kind of like stops and he turns to Motiva and he says, "Well, I feel like you know what my number one plan is, and you're not gonna like it.
Oh,
Onyx is the one that used the spell on Hoshmal.
so like is the plan to like throw her under the bus?
I knew you were quick enough to pick it up.
I have amazing news. I'm also putting it down.
Okay. You know, people really don't like when you mess with their locks.
With their what?
Their locks. Hoshmal
I mean-
is what's up?
I mean, no, go ahead.
And he was just gonna kind of just be like, and Hoshmal is like the security system, and people don't like when you fuck with their security system when you're trying to. It's.
I will say this was an outstanding situation, outstanding circumstances. We were in an emergency.
Yes, that's a good thing.
And?
That's a good thing. Remember that.
And if we brought Eleni onto campus, no matter what, we saw it. Hoshmal immediately went to attack Eleni. It did not register Eleni as a person that was supposed to be here.
That's true. That's an outlier. That's an important flaw in the system also. That's something that we can use as a defense.
The only other option was to take Eleni across an entire continent, and that would have taken maybe a month.
Probably didn't have that kind of time.
Not
Absolutely
really.
did not.
And then if we had to sit through the bureaucratic stuff of getting approval from Taiba, which we wouldn't have the second the plan hit his plate, she like motions to Flynn.
Yes, there's no chance that would have gone through. And in the rare occasion that he would have decided to give it some thought, we wouldn't have had time for that thought to be had.
Okay, good. You guys know your defenses and your reasonings and your intents and all that. He lays down on the floor.
Oh. She takes a blanket and she puts it down on him.
Fair enough.
She's gonna put like a dinner roll on his chest.
Nice.
Kai said it earlier, and I think she motions a hand to Flynn and she says, I think you get it too. The only thing we can do now is just talk.
Yes, I know, and I'm trying to make sure that we can talk. and we can actually get you out of it. I mean, none of us are going to sit by and let you get on the chopping block for something like this. You have to know that, right? Like, that's why we are worked up about it. That's why we came here.
Oh.
Thank you.
Not here freaking out because the sky is falling. I'm here freaking out because I'm holding it up.
It does feel like the sky is falling. Have you seen that rain?
Yeah, it
Yeesh.
opened up. We would have got here a lot faster if it didn't come down so hard. We were already in, like... We were already looking through dorm cabins to get over here. Giselle was leading us, and it immediately started coming down out of nowhere.
It's a magic. It's a primal magic. I don't know who.
It's a divine magic.
No, you're right. It's a divine magic. Hey!
Hmm.
I'm staring at the sky. And Motiva's gonna crack her head at Falin like she's a doll. And she's gonna say, hey, what kind of font of magic does Eleni use?
Isn't it divine?
Yeah, it is, because Eleni is an oracle.
Yep. I feel like Fulton thinks for a second and says, divine?
Now Motiva looks like she wants to crawl on the floor. She's in this fucking bucket of rain. Is this gonna be their fucking planeswalker thing? I can't.
Can I... Okay, can I try to identify magic? Can I take 10 minutes?
Oh, that would be really fun. I think I would like you to be outside if you did.
I like to imagine them having this conversation and Philip looking out a window, just be like, 1 second, and then putting her food down, and then just going to stand outside.
Someone fucking Vegeta fucking...
It's so funny also because to get outside you have to go downstairs, walk past everybody else who's eating, and then open the door and just leave.
Without a word. I'll be right back. 1 second.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm gonna pause because I have to go to the bathroom anyway. But... Okay, hello. Hi, hello. Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So you're gonna go out into the rain. I would love if you have any vibes for like how you think Falin identifying magic looks, especially when it's like an ongoing effect or an area. I'd love if you could tell me that.
I feel like keeping with the theme of strings and whatnot, I feel like she kind of does something to her eyes to try and like attune it to the various ley lines and what have you, and is trying to like read them.
Oh, that's cool. Mm-hmm.
She's just kind of like looking around at the sky, kind of up into the rain, with her eyes kind of glazed over a bit.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Okay, Slay. Okay, let's go. What's your religion?
Luxonite plus 11.
You think you're so funny. And you are funny.
Thank you.
You do this, and you spend these 10 minutes out in this rain, and you feel that it's a little cold. I wouldn't say that you're necessarily freezing being out in there, but again, like when you were sitting out with Eleni, it was so warm, and so it's almost startling how cold it is now, right? And you're kind of like looking at these ley lines, and you're looking at these like thorough lines of magic that like are the entirety of Sedgemoor is interconnected, and these magical creatures and plants are like connected by their roots, and you can almost see like a root map of like the plants and where they are going in relation to the land and the mana that they are giving back to the land, this, that, and the other. And it's something that's very like fascinating to read as somebody who knows a lot about magic, but maybe doesn't know a lot about specifically like ley lines and geography and like elemental environmental magic. But that's why it's incredibly telling how out of place a divine ability is in a primal setting. The connection to nature here is so strong that it's child's play to see that this magic is different, right? And it doesn't have a school of magic. It's not an effect that has a name. And it's why it takes you the full 10 minutes to really figure out what it reminds you of, because you know that something is happening here intentionally. And you are a cleric. You have been in the priesthood for almost 2 whole lifetimes, right? And it is something that you connect really strongly with, to not only your religion and the culture of that religion, but to the lay people in these temples. You are not an oracle, but clerics and oracles and champions go hand in hand in some of the abilities that they can call forth in service to their deities, right?
Mhm.
There is an ability that some very powerful oracles and champions get access to. It's called being a sacral lord. And it means that you are magically and divinely tied to a land that then reacts to your health and emotions. You do think Eleni is doing that. But what this means is more than just that. Because there is now an insinuation that Eleni knew someone was coming before they were even in the vicinity of the cabin. It's been an hour since you brought Eleni inside.
Yeah. Okay. Phone's gonna go back inside,
Mm-hmm.
and she's specifically gonna go to a lady. And she's gonna...
I was
Huh?
going to describe another thing if you're willing to let me do it.
Gimme.
I was going to have Eleni do something, actually.
Ah!
Sorry, we're rewinding the clock. You're still outside, right? You know this
Yes.
information. But this means that you've now been outside for 10 minutes, right? And so by the time you've kind of like made that connection, you can see in rapid time actually that the rain is starting to lighten. And by the time you go to turn back to go inside, you actually see that the door is already propped open and Eleni's head is poked out, kind of watching you.
Man! Flynn will walk up to them. And is going to try and like grab their hand, and is gonna look up at them. Is going to say, Eleni, did you know you were making it rain?
The first kind of thought that goes through your head is something very simple, very short, very clipped, and it just says you're wet. But then the second one, and this one comes with an emotion, and it comes with this sort of like complicated sort of like emotion. It feels like like a tangle of strings, right? But the thought is, I didn't want them to come here.
Grayson and the others, or do you mean Tyra?
Everyone should stay out.
Hey, hey, hey!
The little Elaney muse in my brain said to say that, and I was like, no one's gonna like this.
Okay. Including us?
By the time you ask that, I feel like the rain has lightened to the point of being like a sun shower.
Mm-hmm.
Looks very beautiful, very elegant, as sort of like the bright light of zenith turns everything kind of golden. And Elaney kind of just says to you, in a feeling that feels like cold water kind of caressing the base of your neck, you stay here.
Uh-oh, sisters!
Have fun.
Oh god.
I can't help.
I know! Oh god. How do you deal with this?
Elaney's just kind of looking at you. You said you grabbed Elaney's hand, so Elaney's just holding one of your hands in both of theirs, and looking down at you.
I think I feel like the way that Falin responds to this
Mm-hmm.
is like, I don't think she fully registers what that could mean. And so she just kind of like laughs a little.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, yes, I'll be staying here.
There's like this glittery feeling in your chest.
Cool. I feel like the pause that I am having is not in character.
That's totally fair. Take your time to think about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think she would say that, like, oh yes, I'll be staying here until it's time for us to go again.
Help.
Help, girl.
Help me!
Help me.
Help me.
I think Elaney's response is again very simple, very quick, but uses words again. where I think it's just kind of like the concept of like where go, you know. Thank you. I'm trying to do a lot of really non-traditional communication with Elaney. I hope that it's fun and sticking.
It is. I like it.
It's just scary.
I'm
this
sorry that it's
situation.
ominous. It's gonna be like that.
Yeah. I feel like Flynn shrugs and she says, I don't know whether they're going to do the questioning here or if they're going to have us go elsewhere. And beyond that, once the investigation is done, we'll go back to our dorms and what have you. Though, admittedly, I would like to either stay with you and yours or you and mine for a bit.
There's kind of like this feeling that like plays against yours that's just like content. And it's the same kind of flavor as like one time in the RP I was like there was like a feeling that was just like acceptance. It's like that, but it's like more bubbly, I guess is how I would describe it. And by this point, I think that there are still some clouds in the sky, but it's not raining anymore.
Oh, horrendous.
You noticed that up top, Motiva.
Yep. I feel like Flynn will kind of like cup Eleni's cheek and kind of like look at them just to like make sure. She says like, is this okay if the others stay with us for a bit?
I think Elaney will nod and then like nestle their face against your hand. Like full like not just like the cheek but also like nose and face, like full like Ponyo looking action, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like a cat almost.
She will try to lead them back inside.
Nice, they will go.
And then she'll say like, I'll be right back. And then she's gonna go back upstairs. Yes, it's
Can I just say, really quick, the second Flynn is gone for a little bit too long, but the rain stops, Motiva's just staring at a wall with her hand over her mouth, and now she starts pacing around the room.
Yeah, literally! Motiva pacing, Grayson still on the ground. This sucks. This sucks.
Yep.
They trade.
I think Eleni has connected themselves to the bog.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I believe they sensed whenever Grayson and the others had entered the area. And they started the rain because they didn't want other people coming here.
What?
They're okay now. I think, I hope, this is just a result of them not being all back to wellness again.
Grayson on the ground. This is weird. This is weird. You have to know this is weird.
This is planeswalking. She looks at Flynn and she puts her hands on Flynn. She says, Flynn, this will not help us arguing against Taiva.
I know. We can plead the case that they are not fully back yet. They are still healing. Hello?
She goes to lay on the floor.
Grayson and Motiva are laying on the floor for two different reasons. Grayson, barely a mage. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Motiva, like, oh god.
Good news is, I don't think it will start raining again unless more people come to us, maybe.
Which
And
more
also-
people will be eventually.
Also, good news, this means we will have a heads up when people are approaching us.
She just curls on the floor. Thanks, that's awesome. Great, great. Can I have a beer?
You want me to grab one for you?
A sentence Motiva has never said before.
Literally.
She just nods and says, yeah, I might as well.
Are you sure? I don't think... Do you like beer?
We don't have weed, Flynn. So for now, beer will do.
Okay. She's gonna go downstairs and grab a beer.
You grab a nice frosty beer off of the table. I feel like a lot of focus is on like these individual conversations. People would like comment and talk to you and be like, oh, whoa, 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 or even like touch you affectionately, Flynn. But I imagine you were just like beer and leave again.
Yeah, say, hi! Pregnant lady grabs the beer and leaves.
Literally. The optics on this are crazy.
Hands Motiva a beer.
She's gonna stick her thumb into it and she's gonna shotgun it. Just dead eyes, and then just cracks it on her head and she says, okay.
I have a really funny image to share with you before you move back on into actually talking about stuff. I feel like Grayson Wholesale is like doing the mammalian dive response right now.
Probably.
Like a cold towel just over the top of his head and letting you guys talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, Motiva sticks her thumb in, she clicks it open, she takes it back, she crunches it flat. She stands up and she says, okay. The simple answer to all of this, we win.
We have to
We
win.
do what we always do.
We have to win.
I think we still have a pretty good case.
I think so too, as long as no one fucks up.
We'll be fine.
A little bit of a rabies shake and she's yeah.
Motiva rabies shake is really funny, I'm sorry.
Thank you. She just like she doesn't litter. She picks up the can that she fucked up and she just says, okay, Flynn. That's the answer. We win. We just win. We do what we always do. We win.
We win. You don't sound as confident this time around.
If I come in with too much of a plan, I will have a panic attack.
Understandable. We don't want that.
I will be winging it. But by God.
You're very good at that.
Yeah, as long as the founders aren't there, I'll be fine.
Never mind.
What do you mean?
Well, I was about to ask you what if they are there, but I realized that wasn't going to be helpful.
I will probably cry because dragons are scary. Is that rude to say? And she just like looks down at Grayson.
I don't know, I'm not a dragon.
She looks to Flynn.
Don't say it around Dragonborn, maybe. But there are dragons that are
Honest-
not very scary.
All I'm gonna say is I found out werewolves were real and I didn't care. When I found out dragons were real, I was fucked up. Okay, that
I
shit's
can see why
fucking
it would be.
crazy.
I can see why it would be a lot.
I'm so glad that you guys are in higher spirits. I feel like I'm gonna hurl.
Who needs a
Oh,
bucket?
I'll just stick my head out the window.
Do you want a ginger
Mhm.
ale?
Yeah.
I've grabbed you a ginger ale.
I'm glad you like my anxiety-stricken dog.
Come on, he is the shaking chihuahua, the shaking borzoi.
He's a shaking borzoi. Didn't I do it for you?
for you. Whenever Flynn leaves, she's gonna look to Grayson and she's gonna get down on her knees and she's gonna give him a little peck.
Aw.
I
And
think
she's gonna say, "No, go ahead."
I think a bit of affection that he lets himself give you, which I actually think is still slight, because even in private rooms he doesn't usually show affection. I think that he's gonna put, when you do that, I think he's gonna put his hand like on the back of your neck and kind of like rub the skin there a little bit before you pull away.
She's gonna smile and say, "I have to win because I can't get expelled because otherwise we can't go to Ravnica."
Well, you can't get expelled because then I would be sad. So,
I know.
it's not happening.
Wow.
I would too.
Glad
I
we're
would
in
be
agreement.
extremely sad.
It's true. Also, you don't deserve it. You guys do a lot. And you care a lot. And it's not fair if you get punished for doing something when nobody else would.
That makes me really fucking emo. Me, Ash, hi, that's me saying that. That makes me so fucking emo.
Yeah.
He's right though. Tell me he's wrong.
No, yeah, he is. No, like that was what he came here to say the whole time. It just got it got away from him because he was anxiety and like we need to make sure you don't get got. But like his whole angle is like you shouldn't. And like there are people here willing to fight to keep you not from getting punished for this. Cuz he's on the ground every single time you guys do stuff like this. You know? I don't know. I'm emo about it. I love Strixhaven.
I don't know about it.
Go ahead.
Motiva will say that if he starts to feel too emotional and like he might like transform, that she has another floor to this building if he wants to privately dog out. He would phrase it more eloquently, I need to
Yeah.
mention.
I'm not gonna lie, he probably is going to like drink a ginger ale, make sure he doesn't barf, and then if honestly what he probably would do after that is actually probably go dog out, but like he would still interact with you guys because he does that in school on a day-to-day basis, but like you do have a point. If there's like a risk of him like suddenly transforming, it's better for him to just get it out of the way right now and just be a dog.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, he does that. He comes back and he's a dog.
Dog out time.
Yeah, this is a really cute image that I don't think that you see until you probably go to lay down tonight, Motiva, but like the idea that like Grayson's clothes are like neatly folded on top of your bed is really cute.
Oh.
Wow. Flynn coming upstairs with the ginger ale. Where did they go?
Licks ginger
What was
ale
that
out of a
sound?
dog bowl.
I was gonna say, I think Grayson would rather die than let Motiva see him dog out, so she would still be down there, like,
Yeah.
holding the ginger ale.
He doesn't let anyone see him be in hybrid form. Canonically he thinks it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Aw.
She would like kind of like mumble that too, like Fulin coming up and just being like, "Where did Grayson go?" And she's like, she like goes up to Fulin. She like leans down. He doesn't like when people see him in hybrid. He's going into dog mode.
Is he still in the digital?
Probably. Prepare yourselves, texture creatures. She's gonna take her nails and she's gonna open it like a can opener.
Nice, thank you. I love that. That's actually kind of awesome.
We'll just make it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever he's still doing that and they're alone, Motiva's gonna put the drink down on like a dresser and she's gonna give Fulin a hug.
No. She
Hug.
hug.
I want you to know that no matter what, I don't regret this happening. And I'm happy that Eleni is okay. And that you're doing better.
I feel like specifically Motiva saying that she's happy that Eleni is okay makes her tear up.
Mhm.
And she's just gonna squeeze Motiva and hold her for a bit.
Oh,
Hold.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Wow.
yeah. Eventually, I imagine they all go back downstairs.
Yeah.
Motiva gives Grayson a bowl.
Flynn's gonna get back into the fucking nest.
Hell yeah, she is. Let's go. Notably, I think Eleni is a little bit more affectionate right now.
No.
I think something also that is of note and interesting as the day kind of progresses. People coming and going. This cabin and then the cabin right next door actually is a really nice setup because it means that there's technically 4 separate locations people can be in. So a lot of times people do spend time in your cabin, or they'll go back to Nim's, or they'll go and like 2 people will hang out on the 2nd floor or that sort of thing. Like it's nice to be able to kind of get that space and kind of like break up into little groups or have the option to stay together. I think something that you would notice about Eleni, Falin, as the hours kind of progress and Zenith ends and it goes back down into twilight, Eleni starts to get sleepy again and probably ends up like dozing off, like on and on. On and off. There we go. Slay. Now, I have a fun question. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You first.
I feel like Flynn's original plan was to have Eleni be moved to like one of the beds upstairs. But now that the nest is here and seeing how the upholstery does get damp, she's like, well, this is comfy and I'm not gonna do that to Motiva.
Yeah, it's already wet.
So she's gonna try and like set Eleni up like in this little fireplace nest.
Oh, they'd like it. I think that they would think it's slay, so. They wouldn't say slay. I would say slay.
What were you gonna say?
I have a question for you guys because I think that the interactions we've had are really good. And I think they're really fun, and I think we technically left on a really interesting high note. So do we want to cut it here, or do you want to have the next conversation with Taiva? Because that's the only other thing I have in my notes. We can either do it right now to end it out in the session, or we can do it at the top of the session next time.
I do like Tyva yelling at us. I do think I need to examine something about myself with it, but I would be interested in hearing Tyva yell at us.
Yeah.
And it's like a Saturday and nobody lives underneath us, so I'm not worried about going a little bit past 10,
Okay.
personally.
That's fun. We'll probably only be like an hour and a half, depending on how you guys do stuff because we love to get sidetracked.
Sweet.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna pause again really quick. Okay. It's a couple hours into twilight before anything else changes. There is a sort of lull in conversation, and some people have kind of like peeled off, and some people have come and gone. And the sun is still shining, still kind of like amplified by the now, like the dew on everything from the rain earlier. Everything always looks a bit brighter on Witherbloom after a rain. And Elaney is asleep, so there is no herald of rain before a too delicate, too polite, 2 knocks on the front door. Who answers it?
Well, I'm looking for Motiva.
I have a question. Who do you think would be down in like the living area when this happens? I want to think. I want to have my mind palace of where everybody is.
I love that too. I think maybe like Chad, Giselle, and Grayson are all down here to varying degrees. I think in my mind's eye, I'm imagining Chad, Giselle, and Rowan all 3 talking. I don't think Nefay is down here. I think if you are downstairs, then I think Grayson is curled up dog form, probably in the floor time area. I think Kai is with Nim in Nim's cabin right now. And I think Will would probably be... I don't know if this is correct, Sarah, but I've been imagining Will was a part of the nest encounter. So I've been imagining him over there, like next to Flynn and Elaney. I feel like you guys are like 3 peas in a pod right now.
Absolutely, she would not have let him leave. Citation,
Slay.
she would have, but she wouldn't have liked it.
Yeah, I think that I think the funny thing about that is I think that Will is startled by all of the touch because like that means that Elaney's like half on him. You're obviously touching him, right? But I don't think that he tells anybody to get off. You know what I mean? So I think that's a really fun position for him to be in, medieval ass. So I think the tally of the people who are not here is Onyx, Nefay, Kai, and Nim.
Where's the little climber boy?
Oh, fuck, Sean. There's so many people here, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
You're totally fine. This is very understandable. I did just imagine you going, I abandoned my boy!
I abandoned my boy! I do think that it's cute to imagine him kind of like laying or lounging on your bed up top. So he's he's technically within reach, but...
Is it goofy to say Motiva's playing parlor music?
No, I think that's
I love
cute.
that.
Yeah, played on the piano.
I'm just decompressing.
Yeah. I feel like Flynn was like half trancing, and I feel like Flynn was like half trancing, and then the knock happened, and she's like immediately meerkatting.
Yeah. Wow, how Elaney of you.
Yeah.
You said that she like looked at Motiva.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks at Flynn. Yeah, Motiva would get up and answer.
All right, you stop playing as the music kind of like reverberates in the space a little bit as you get up to open the door. I feel like most of the people in this space kind of look perturbed by it. Actually, I didn't think about this earlier, but I actually think that this is something that would happen. I think that Grayson is going to send you a message really quick to hold on. There's like a little that he makes, right? And I actually think he's going to try to like bite onto like Chad and Giselle's clothes to get them upstairs.
Yeah.
I think he would
Smart
be
cookie.
thinking about that. So now it's going to be yeah, so now it's just you two, Eleni, and the twins down here. Okay. Slay. But you can wait for them to scuttle away, probably eavesdropping from the floor above, before opening the door.
Yeah, Motiva would send a message back to Grayson to say thank you.
I think he would do it just because it's a message and nobody else would hear, and I think he's going to send you another one and just say, I'm here.
Man.
Man.
Gay people.
She opens the door.
Awesome. You open the door, and Flynn, from where you kind of suddenly meerkatted up, I feel like you can hear Eleni kind of like rustling around a bit as they seem like they're gonna try to sit up, rubbing kind of like dewdrops out of their eyes. But Motiva, you open the door and you see a familiar and severe face of Taiva standing on the doorstep of your cozy cabin. Kind of robes a bit more put together than they were when you saw them earlier. One second. You see him kind of go to look down at you, and then they go to just kind of consider you for a second before they just go to say in a sort of clipped voice, "Good evening. May we come in?"
Motiva will nod and say, please come in. Would you like some coffee? Tea?
Thank you for your generosity, but I'm fine. And you see that he goes to step in just a little bit, enough to let Janaya come in, the same Dragon's Guard from earlier. But something that you pick up on, Motiva, and it's something that only you can pick up on because you're here by the door, is that after they both step in, you can very clearly get visual on two other Dragon's Guard that are going to be standing outside the door. They kind of like take point on either side. They don't look armed and ready, but they look like they are standing guard.
Sarah. Okay. Motiva's This is like a bit dramatic, so you can tell me not to, but I just imagine Motiva clapping her hands and the food on the table going away.
That's definitely fine. That's doable. I like that. I actually, hold on. I think that's sudden of a movement, especially because, like, to me, the emotion of it makes me feel like it's also loud.
Yeah.
It does cause Taiva to jump a little bit, which would be funny if it didn't mean Janaya didn't also put a hand on her sword for a second. But they both look around and everything's fine. So they don't do anything. Taiva just goes to kind of clear his throat while the Dragonscar just kind of like eyes you specifically as host, Motiva.
She motions to the table and says, "There is now room for us to sit and talk."
Thank you for your hospitality. Taiva will go to sit, kind of like folding his sleeves and robe a bit as he situates himself. I actually think is this a rectangle style like dinner table? I think so, right?
Yes, if you say he sits at the head of the
He
table,
does.
I'm going.
He sits at the head of the table, and then Janaya stands at the other end.
Yep.
Power hungry bitches. Okay, fine. Motiva sits in the middle.
I feel like Fullen is gonna start getting up from the nest, but is like before she does so, she's trying to like soothe the lady back into laying down.
Roll me a diplomacy.
Ah.
26.
26. I feel like you go to like leave, and I feel like Eleni might have arms like around you, and I feel like it's like that thing where you try to get up but they don't like let go really quick. And you kind of have to make like some soothing like touches and like shushing before they kind of go to let you go, and you don't feel like you don't feel anything in your mind or anything pushed like against your emotions, but you can kind of see in the way that their face twitches that they might not be like super pleased about it, but it doesn't seem enough for them to I guess make it known. So I think yeah, they would. I feel like Eleni just shifts gears and just fully leans like head on Will's shoulder. Rowan was at the table still whenever the other three scampered off, so I feel like she's like accidentally closer to Taiva. So I'm imagining it's like Rowan and Motiva on like the same side, you know?
My scary dog. Thank you, Rowan.
Yeah, she's in between you and Taiva. You are, however, near Janaya though.
That's fine. I also have a scary lady on my side. Fuck off.
So Fullen, where do you sit?
There's okay. So Motiva and Rowan are sitting on the same side. Taiva's at the head. Janaya is standing at the other end.
Yes.
Fullen will take the other head of the table.
Oh, so you're gonna stand in front of Janaya? Like, so you're gonna sit in front of where she's standing? Because that's kind of slay.
Yeah, mainly because I'm looking at the map and there's only 4 chairs.
Motiva could have, if God allows it, Motiva could have spawned more chairs.
In my head, I had imagined. Why did I imagine that it was so much bigger than that? I'm silly. Oh, you're so right, Queen.
I do still
Okay,
like
Slay.
the idea of Phelan just automatically going to sit there, unintentionally doing a power move.
I like it a lot too because it is a power move, but also Janaya is still standing right behind you, so that's very interesting to me. You should stay there.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Nice. Okay. Okay. Taiva goes to kind of fold his hands together and kind of looks at the three of you and also like glances towards Will, which like because of the map is like technically on the side that nobody's sitting on. The nest is like between the table and the fireplace. So it's full table, which I think is fun.
Nice.
And he goes. We have been conducting our investigation, and not all of you are present here, but I will relay the same information to the people in the other cabin, or you can share with them if you like. Magic has always been a very finicky thing to investigate, especially the longer time goes on, so your trial will be quicker. It'll be sooner rather than later. I have already alerted the founders, and they are on their way here. This is a school-wide issue. And surprisingly, someone from every college is a part of this. So the only way to handle it will be for the founders to handle it together themselves. You will be given a notice 24 hours before your trial is said to start. And until then, you will remain here. I appreciate your cooperation in staying in one spot. It is a very advantageous place for you to stay in. So that is what has been decided.
Understood. When we get the notice, will someone be coming to take us to the trial?
Yes, the notice will be so that you can be ready and on time. I will be sending Janaya here with a guarded escort to make sure you get there quickly and safely.
Thank you.
Of course. It's not often we have to perform trials of this nature, so there will be a special location prepared for such a thing, as the founders will be involved.
Hello?
Oh, hello?
Hello.
Oh. It was quiet.
Yeah, sorry, I was just thinking.
That's so fair. I was about to make a comment if you want to hear it. I actually do think if this pause is in character, I think Taiva would kind of look at you, Motiva, and say the Silver Quill is quiet.
The Golgari is thinking.
That was kind of hot. That was cool.
That was so.
That was a really
Motiva!
cool. That was a really, really cool. I don't think Taiba says anything to that, because obviously Taiba doesn't know what the Golgari are, but that was awesome. That was really good.
Chad on the second floor. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Motiva just nods and says, "We'll be ready, and we will be prepared to go with you. Do not expect resistance."
That's wonderful to hear. I hope that it... Well... I'm not expecting resistance, but you should always prepare for it regardless.
The tongue biting. Oh, the tongue biting. Oh, oh.
You're not to be blamed for that.
Motiva would not say anything. Please go ahead, Sarah.
Phelan is just being polite and agreeable.
Mm-hmm.
Motiva has lasers in her eyeballs.
I believe that.
Is there anything else we should prepare or expect?
For the sake of goodwill and the fact that I know that a majority of you involved are not locals. And he kind of says that with like a bit of a snide tint to it, right? And he is going to continue and say, because of all of your involvement, you will all be trialed as individuals and not as a group.
Ah, fuck.
Ah!
I would
Ah,
suggest you
shit.
make your own cases and defenses. Of course, no one can stop you from saying the same thing. Once again, I am perfectly aware that you have wordsmiths in your group, but I hope that it heartens you that you will be judged on your own merit and not due to the actions of someone else.
Ooh. Ooh.
Oh.
Ow. I wanted to say something, but would she?
I have a fun question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
You might be like, oh, well, she might, would Beck.
Hey, yo.
Hey yo! So true, bestie.
Hit him with it. Hit him with it.
I feel like she still has like this like polite smile. She's like sat straight, hands folded in front of her, but her jaw has a bit of a different set to it.
Mm-hmm.
And she will say, how do I want to word it?
I'm so excited.
Of me sitting with my hands in my lap, and I'm so ready. I'm so excited.
ready. I'm kicking my legs.
I do appreciate the open and willingness to look at our own merits, though I do hope nobody would be as forgetful as to ignore the merits of a group.
Get him.
We are nothing without community. We do not exist in a vacuum.
Those are rich and beautiful and brittle words coming from someone who did not think of the community at large before she chose her own actions. And you say that your words, you see that your words are obviously getting kind of like a rise out of Taiva. And you see that he goes to kind of like stand a bit like roughly. But kind of whenever he reaches his full height, before either of you can say anything, all of you are startled by the loudest peal of lightning, almost punctuating that motion.
Motiva's
You
gonna
speak.
look at Elaney.
Elaney is staring at Taiva. If I was gonna say if they could even bristle, they would be, but no, they're made of water. I think that they're like Ghibli bristling.
God!
Yeah. The two elementals bristling like little Ghibli fucking characters.
Yeah, literally.
Philin still sat down. Still looking calm. You speak as though you live in my mind. You don't know my thoughts. Please save any accusations for the trial. And I hope you have proof to back it up.
Ah! Ah! Yeah! Yeah!
God, our characters are so cool. I feel like Taiva's eyes kind of like skitter over the room, kind of like taking a read of the situation, before looking at you as you say that. And he is gonna kind of twist his mouth and say, well, if you did think about them then you must have found what they added to the equation wanting. 7 students had to be resuscitated.
Motiva's gonna stand up. And she's going to look to Philin. And she's gonna nod her head. And she's going to look to Taiva. And she's going to say, that will be good to know for the trial. Thank you.
I think he's gonna jut his chin at Jinhai, and I think he's gonna turn on his heel and he's gonna leave. I don't even think he's gonna spare a second glance at any of you.
Can Philin say something
Do
as
it.
he's leaving?
Do it.
I feel like as he starts to walk away from a table, she like gives a sigh that's kind of like tired and frustrated, but mostly tired.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of just gonna talk back to him. And is going to say, despite what you may think, we did not want that to happen. None of us planned for that. We are not heartless. We will find a way to make amends.
Oh, I'm gonna say something. Okay, I can't. I keep being like, no, I should just leave, but no, he would keep saying stuff. He would keep.
Another thing.
Another thing. I think that
Another thing.
I think that he would say in response to that, and then he will leave for real. I think that he hears you say that, And he goes to stop at the door, and he doesn't look back, and he says instead, "You will make amends, but not for hurting your fellow students. For honestly, the fact that you didn't think that it could hurt others is what you should atone for." And I think he's just gonna leave.
Can I be a little bit drama?
Be so drama.
So, like, a couple of minutes after he leaves, not to be Howl's Moving Castle, I do think Motiva is gonna start breathing really hard, and then the house is gonna breathe with her,
That's hot.
and there's gonna be like vines and slime and like black goo and like miasma peeking out, and there's just a yowling.
God, that's so hot. I love that. No, that's so good. That's so drama too, because listen, so none of you can see outside. I'm gonna tell you guys this because I just think it's really fun, and also in a little bit, people are gonna start coming up to the house and being like, "Hey, yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
You start doing that, you turn this into a fucking witch's fucking hut. You know what I mean? You turn this into a fucked up little Howl's Moving Castle house, right? Outside, it is almost pitch dark because of clouds. And it's not raining the same, but you can kind of see the light from heat lightning skittering under the clouds. But also, you probably won't see this until later, until like one of like people of you try to leave. I actually imagine that the water around the little island has actually like started to like flood a little bit up to the door stoop of the hut. Like very like Spirited Away.
Mhm.
But it's just like dark water and dark clouds and the dark swamp around y'all.
I can't believe that a lady and Motiva are having their Howl's Moving Castle moment. Motiva's nails are dug into her table. There is claw marks.
I love
Her hair
that
is
idea.
curling.
I feel like as soon as Tyva left, Flynn had like slumped against the table and had like head and hands. But then as the house starts fucking breathing and she's like looking around and she sees Motiva, she's gonna go and try and sit next to her. And like put an arm on her shoulder.
This is my house. This is my guest. And he accuses us of thinking we were willing to hurt people.
He doesn't
No
like
wonder
her.
your weak get recruits. The founders are fools for bringing in Tyva.
That's really good.
Motiva, this is the hottest you've ever been.
This is so sexy. You don't fucking disrespect the hospitality of a Corhonen. You don't.
Teehee. How is
Tee-hee.
everybody? Aha. Aha. The house is ooze. The house is ooze. The doorsteps is made of water.
Yippee.
Thank God the hut is on stilts. Nim has to water walk to get to the house now.
Oh god. Oh, the curtains are gonna do nothing to block that water.
It's okay. It stopped at the doorstep. Doorstoop.
There you go.
Door. Man, what's the vibe?
Outside the game or inside the game?
Yeah.
Outside the game, I'm doing great.
I love this. These vibes are so fucking juicy. If Eleni still had vocal cords, Eleni would be going the
Don't worry, the house is going.
yeah.
Yeah.
The shared claws are digging into the mud.
I had like the image of like the like pounce arms.
Do you know? Do you know whenever Lily's tail does that thing whenever she's really like mad and freaking out, where it like twitches around a lot?
Yep.
Yep.
Yup.
Pine cone butt.
Pine cone
Fine,
butt.
gone.
Man, I think that's where we're gonna leave it off today.
You have to let me RP with Liliana. You have to.
Everybody has to immediately do RPs. I'm so fucking stoked. You guys can also RP with each other if you guys want to, if you have more stuff to say. Okay, I'm gonna stop
This
recording.
is the sexiest. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's go ahead.
I was gonna say this is the sexiest Motiva and Flood I've ever been.
Yeah, they're so. Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording.